Hey, Ryzen here. Today we are diving into a practical example for all the React and TypeScript enthusiasts out there. We are going to build a component for selecting a date, which we'll call dayInput. You can find both the demo and the source code in the description. The initial reason for creating this component was to support age-based goals in the productivity app increaser. So we'll use date of birth form as our example today. Our dayInput component receives 4 props: value, which is the selected date; onChange, a function called when the date changes; min, the minimum date; and max, the maximum date. We use day as a type for the value, which includes year and day index fields. This approach might seem a bit unusual, but it's quite effective for representing a day without needing the month explicitly. We store the date in the database as a string using a date-to-string function. Additionally, we have several helper functions to convert between day, timestamp, and string. An interesting part of our implementation is the today function, where we calculate the day index. It's crucial to account for time zone offsets, which can vary even within the same time zone due to daylight saving time. By using the inTimeZone function, we ensure the date is converted correctly before calculating the day index. Our component uses 3 drop-down inputs placed within a grid container. Each grid item has a custom width to match its input content. We render each drop-down using the expandable selector component. If you're interested in that, check out the corresponding video linked in the description. We display the input parts in the order of day, month, and year. From the dayInput parts array, we extract the dayInput part type and define the dayInput parts type as a record with dayInput part keys and number values. The toDayInput parts function converts a timestamp to a dayInput parts object, while the fromDayInput parts function does the reverse. A key utility here is the getDayInputPartInterval function. It dynamically determines the valid range for each part of the date input. It receives minimum and maximum day objects, the current day input part, and the current date value as day input parts. The function converts the minimum and maximum days into parts using toDayInput parts. It checks if all higher parts are fixed, meaning they are equal for both the minimum and maximum date. If they are, or if it's a year part, the function returns the range between the min and max parts. For the month part, the range is adjusted based on whether the year matches the min or max year. Similarly, for the day part, it considers both the year and month to ensure the correct number of days in that month. This ensures each dropdown only shows valid options, preventing invalid data selection. When the date changes, we construct new parts and adjust each lower part to enforce the range. For example, changing the month from January 31st to February would adjust the date to the 28th. We then convert the new parts to a day object and call the onChange function with a new value. To generate a list of options from the interval, we use the interval range function, which creates a range of numbers from the start to the end of the interval. We format the options using the match function, a better alternative to switch statement. It lets us define a function for each case and call the appropriate one based on the input. We'll display numbers for the day and year and month names for the month. That's it for today's video. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check the description for links to the source code. See you next time.